Alrighty, what's going on, team? Today is the 8th of September 2025, and I just wanted to give my recap for today. I did not trade on Friday just because I was out. I was out with my girl watching the new Conjuring movie. Um, but we are back on it today. Um, what's it called? So today's trade was a sort of a continuation trade, right? So coming in the market open, I'm looking at structure. What's structure doing? What's the 1 hour doing? All right, where we headed, right? We break structure here. Actually, let me make this now, just so it's easier for next time. Um, Not a market structure shift. We break structure here. Uh, and we make a higher high. We put that higher low in, and what did Asia do? Asia distributed, right? So Asia tapped into this 1 hour fair value gap here, right? Didn't close below it, and we make some move ups, right? So I'm thinking when London opens, I'm thinking, okay, are we gonna dump to take out these lows down here and then continue the trend, or are we just gonna continue the trend, right? So with that in mind, I am looking at structure, right? So we distribute in Asia. Um, so this is low key like a market structure shift or a breaker structure, whatever you want to call it. But so now on the fractal, so now fractal time frame, we are now with the trend, right? We are now bullish with the trend because what's the overall trend? The overall trend is bullish, right? So okay, I'm looking on the 5 minute, right? I'm waiting. I wasn't even gonna take a trade today, but I'm waiting to see if this fair value gap gets filled here, right? Um, so I've got three kind of boxes marked out. I've got this major fair value gap, which price distributed from, right? We had that market structure shift there, and the other two was one was an order block, so order block from here because this is the last selling candle before price distributed up, and we had that market structure shift, and also this fair value gap here, right? So with that in mind, if these areas don't get respected, where's price heading to? Take out these lows, these sell side here, this this and even this, right? And we could even come down and take out these lows. But again, because price already distributed from this fair value gap and price is bullish with the trend, so overall trend is bullish, right? Because we made a low, made a high, we broke structure, lows, highs, broke structure, made a high. Now we put in a low, and price had a fractal market structure shift there, right? So with that in mind, I was looking to see, okay, off this big fair value gap zone, what did price do? Is my mic working? Oh yeah. What did price do? We distributed, right? We created a fair value gap, and we broke fractal structure, market structure shift, and we created an order block, right? So coming into market open, we get that distribution from a 5 minute um, fair value gap. But to me, that's not enough because again, I want to trade from a high time frame POI just because this move, um, you're not really gonna get anywhere. Um, you're not really gonna get anywhere trading the 5 minute fair value gaps only without context, right? So what's our context? Right, price market structure shift here created this fair value gap. Ideally, you want price to tap into it, right? But it's okay if price distributed from this 5 minute gap. That's totally fine to take out this buy side liquidity, right? This buy side here, and even this buy side here, right? It's just a matter of where's price heading to. So ideally, the first thing of my checklist, I'm waiting for a high time frame POI, right? So in this case, we actually tapped into both. We tapped into this fair value gap and also this order block. But this fair value gap is still valid. You know why? Because we didn't close below the fair value gap, which is this line here. All right. So what's interesting about this trade I took here was that the 5 minute and the 15 minute were in bearish order flow, right? Because what did we have here? We had a market structure shift, right? We had a market structure shift. So what is price wanting to do? Respect bearish gaps until we have enough liquidity to eventually push back up again, right? And I see that we had after price broke here, we accumulated, right? This zone here, this area here, we accumulated, and we manipulated, taking out these lows. So early buyers that tried stepping in from these highs after seeing these bullish candles without distributing up and breaking, this fair value gap, um, we see that we're still respecting bearish gaps, but early buyers stepped in here because they saw these two wicks without even breaking any internal structure. Um, they would have got taken out, into which we had the distribution, right? So in terms of entry, right, this is what I want to touch on because I'm starting to figure out that one entry model is all I need, right? Because um, I think a problem I had before was I would always be marking out different confluences that wouldn't really work for me, or like if it did work, I'd miss the move, right? So in this case, we get a market structure shift here. But by the time that market structure shift even happened, I've already missed a move. You know what I mean? So and and my stops will be too big, and even putting it below here is even a risk. Um, because again, you want to put your stops below, the liquidity sweeps for, you know, uh, because once price takes out and breaks structure, takes out the low because we're bullish and breaks structure, ideally this low is protected, this low right here. So price shouldn't have to come back and take that out again. So the entry was actually um, this mini fair value gap here, right? Because once we distributed down lower, right, and we break structure, this is not a market structure shift. We break structure, right? We break structure here, and once we break structure, this fair value gap should hold, right? If we want to continue down lower to fill in this order block here, or even take out these lows, right, before continuing up, this this gap should be able to hold, right? Because these gaps tell you a story. It's where price is able to rebalance itself before distributing either way, right? So with this, I see that we have a gap here, right? So I'm waiting to see whether we get a a breakthrough it, right? And once we get that break, which happened on this candle, I wasn't gonna enter just because entries would have been too far away, and my stops would have to be really really low. But I guess that's something I have to trial and error with, especially when price distributes like that. Maybe I can, price breaks through this level. There's not many times where we get a retrace into something. Um, so with that in mind, we did kind of um, we did get that retrace into that 5 minute gap, right? And with that, um, I I was seeing what the 1 minute was doing, right? So what was the 1 minute doing? When we had that broke through this 5 minute fair value gap, this bearish fair value gap, we actually broke structure on the 1 minute. So what did the 1 minute do? The 1 minute came and filled this kind of this order block here, right? Because now once we broke this high, we're now in bullish order flow, right? We're now in bullish order flow with the 1 hour trend, right? But the problem is that you could wait for um, you could take an entry at the 1 minute, but it's definitely risky because price could um, not respect this gap. Therefore, if it's not if price respects this gap, then this market structure shift doesn't really mean anything, right? So we distribute it through this gap. The 5 minute closes above it. We get that retrace right back into this fair value gap, and we distribute out of it. And that was my entry. My entry was actually a pending on this fair value gap, just because I wanted my stops to be below here, right? Because I knew that we broke structure on the 1 minute. We're now in bullish order flow. All right, for price to disrespect this low, um, that would invalidate this trade idea. That means that we would head down and take out these lows. So my kind of prediction was the 1 minute structure, right? 1 minute structure turned bullish before the 5 minute did. We also had this inversion fair value gap where we distributed from. So this is therefore is a good kind of POI or protection from price reversing on us. So yeah, this trade was stops was below the liquidity sweep on the 5 minute, and I just targeted um, the high that was made before we put in that low, just because I wanted a nice and easy, quick profits. But again, with price, with your if you're trading with fractal and prices like this, um, and prices, if you're bullish overall and price, is bullish on the fractal time frame, you could definitely catch moves all the way up to here for sure. Um, because now you're 5 minutes in order flow, you're 15 minutes in order flow, in bullish order flow. Your 1 hour just is in order flow the whole time because we didn't because we had a nice kind of shape down on the 1 hour straight down and we distributed up again. So I'll show you on the 1 hour. It kind of looks like this. See, we had that push down, but still haven't broken any structure, right? So with that in mind, you could definitely catch some crazy moves. But again, don't want to be too greedy in the markets. I could have left some runners for sure, but I was happy with today's take profit, just over 2R, which I'm happy with. So hope you guys won today. Um, hope you guys have a good trading week, right? And also take responsible trades, A plus sit-ups, and if you lose, hop off for the day, call it a day. There's always a trade to take tomorrow. So with that being said, just wanted to, you know, say goodbye to you lads, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. It is tomorrow actually, the 9th. There's a setup tomorrow. I will post if I took a trade, but if you guys don't get a post for me, that means I didn't take a trade today. But yeah, I'll catch you guys up. Peace, peace, peace.